This is the part of the hunt where I try to leave my gun strapped on me, and I don't touch it. I've been told not to shoot the rabbit right off the jump, so we let them run for a minute, then we hunt. So I leave the gun put up, and I just shoot with the camera for now. All right, so we just got here. We'll get out, get everything set up, and they've already let the dogs out. They're right down here. They just let them out, so we get everything, get my boots on, grab my gun, and we're gonna get out here and get after some rabbits. So it's a beautiful day. It's actually a little bit warmer than what I thought it was gonna be, but it should be good nonetheless. So y'all come on, let's go.
There he is.
Surprised there ain't a rabbit in there.
In the damn brush pile. Get him up, Barney. Down here. Oh, oh, oh. Up. Down here. Go. Yee. Up. Come over here. Got it, got it, got it. Right.
All right, so what you just watched was the good side of dog hunting. And this is where the day started to get a little ugly, if you will. So after the dogs were running, they were running really good. They bumped a couple rabbits. They chased them. They got a couple laps out of them. We weren't able to kill any, and so we decided we were going to go to a different part of the farm. So we go to a different part of the farm. It's actually by a road, and the dogs got running pretty good, and something sparked it. And when I say they took off, they didn't even take a break. I mean, they were flat out in a line going, and that was at the point that, you know, we kind of assumed that they jumped a deer, and they started crossing roads. And they started getting out of control, and they started spreading out. We're trying to tone them. We're using the collar, we're using the garment and everything like that. And they start spreading out. And this happens. I mean, this happens. They're dogs, they're hunting, they're working, they get riled up, their adrenaline's going, and instinct kicks in. And so we start rounding them up. And there's a couple of them that are really easy to get. And we get one, and we get another one, and another one comes back to the property, and then we're looking for this one. We finally get this one, and this other one has run across two roads and has become stationary. And so I told the boy who owns the dogs, I said, seems like they caught the dog, so let's just go down there and get it. Luckily, we've got, you know, this boy had paid good money for these collars and this tracking device. I mean, he paid really good money for it.
$300 a piece.
Right, and that's not even including this, right?
Yeah, that's just a collar.
Right.
These are $500. So you're looking at, you know, $800.
That's $800 for that.
Right.
He's got 5 collars for 5 dogs and one thing. So it's stationary. And we pull back up and we're like, all right, we're going to go down there. And the boy looks at the collar. He looks at his garment and he says, no, we're good. She's coming to us. We're like, all right. And he's like, hold on, she's coming fast. I said, what do you mean she's coming fast? And then I start hearing a car on a gravel road. So I'm like, hold on now. So I said, that person has a dog. So we start trying to scramble. How are we going to get this dog? How are we going to get this car? One boy's running down towards the car. I'm running back to the truck. We're trying to figure it all out. Well, the car goes out the driveway, takes off. Right at the end of the driveway, loses connection, right? We've had it this entire time. Into the driveway, connection lost. So go flying down the road. Can't find the car for nothing. Come back. The boy that was on the road said it's a X mount. It's a certain color SUV and a certain color SUV. This is what pulled out. They went that direction. Everything like that. Well, we couldn't find them, so we decided we're going to go back to where they come from. This just happened to be a business, and the bad thing is it's a business that actually makes money off of hunters and other dog lovers that use dogs for hunting. So we ride down there and we walk in the facility and we say, hey, we lost a beagle and we're looking for this beagle. This gentleman, he'd come out of another room and he walked up and he said, yeah, no, it's hard for me to keep up with this stuff, man. I got 60, 70 people here. I can't keep up with everything. We're like, well, we kind of understand that. We get where you're coming from. We just concerned because the collar went to the end of the driveway and stopped. And so that's concerning to us. So we want to know what's going on. Can you ask around? Can we figure some stuff out? So he walks back out front. And he's like, it's really hard for me to figure out what's going on. I'll try what I can, but I'm not sure that I can help you and everything. Just so happens, a lady's sitting on the front porch. And I turned around because when we walked in, tempers are flaring, right? And so I said, ma'am, I said, did I pass you on the way here? And she said, yeah. She said, you didn't even notice. I said, I'm sorry if I cursed or said anything I shouldn't have. I said, she said, no, you didn't. She said, but yeah, you walked right past me. And I said, well, I apologize or whatever. And the owner of the facilities continued to say he didn't know nothing. He knew nothing about the dog, hadn't heard anything. And so I turned to the lady and I said, have you seen a beagle up here with a purple collar on? And she said, yeah. She said, I saw 3 women and they give it to him. And I said, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, well, who's she talking about? And the guy that I was talking to was like, let me ride down here and let me see what's going on. So I said, okay. So he goes down to the field trial people. And I said, who's him? Who are you speaking about? And she said, the guy that just left. They give the dog to him. So me and the dog owner start looking at each other and we're like, well, it just got serious. In my mind, it just got serious because this dude just flat out lied to me. So the guy comes back up from the bottom of the hill, and he's got another guy in the truck. And the guy in the truck says, I took the dog. I put him up here. Is what it is. We got it. We'll return it. And the dog owner is kind of like, my collar left his property. And I'm starting to see the wheels turning in the dog owner's, mind and everything. And I said, well, now hold on. I said, let's put our hands on the dog, and then once we put our hands on the dog, we can have a conversation, right? So I said, where's the dog at? And they say, it's back here. I said, well, let's go get the dog. I said, it's not a big deal, let's just get the dog back. We're just happy to have a dog. We're trying to stay very positive. And so we go back, and we notice that the room that they're keeping the dog in is the same room that the owner of the establishment walked out of. The same guy that told us he didn't even know that there was a dog there. Hadn't even seen a beagle. This was all news to him. 60 to 70 people there. He can't keep up with it, right? So, me and the dog owner are both kind of looking at each other like, hold on now. So I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be calm. I said, okay. So we get the dog. We walk back out. And the dog owner kind of points out, he said, well, my collar left this place, right? He's like, and we're going to deal with that in a minute. But, this dog is wearing a collar, and on that collar is my phone number. So why didn't you call me? And the owner was like, I plan on calling you later. It's getting complicated at this point. This man didn't know nothing about a dog. He walked out of the room, same room that the dog was in. He'd planned on calling an owner about a dog he didn't even know existed. And so I'm starting to see a lot of stuff connecting. And I'm starting to see this dog owner really get irritated. and we are technically on this other man's property. So I'm starting to see irritation come in, and versus trying to get in an all-out altercation, I said, you know what? Let's just cut it off right here. So I walked back up on the porch, and the lady that was up on the porch, I said, ma'am, I said, could I count on you to be a witness? Would you be willing to tell somebody what you saw? I don't want nothing fabricated. I don't want nothing added. I just want what you saw. She said, absolutely. It's not a big deal. I'm glad you got your dog back, but I don't mind telling anybody anything. I said, all right, cool. So she exchanged information with me, and I went back and I told the dog owner, I said, get in the truck. I said, it's not worth it, no matter what. It's a $300 collar, but nevertheless, tempers start rising, words start exchanging. It could get ugly quick. So I said, it's not worth it. Let's go. So the dog owner says, okay, let's go. So we get in the truck, we drive down, and we drive back to the property, where we're allowed to hunt. And at that point, we made a phone call to the NC Wildlife and made a claim. And we point blank told them, this is what happened. This is what's going on. This is what we were told. This is where the dog was found. We still don't have the collar. We have no idea. It lost signal at the end of the driveway, and that car left, and we don't know what's going on. And they said, all right, let's get some stuff together, and we'll give you a call back. Well, within 2 hours, 3 NC Wildlife officials showed up, went down to the property, and I'm happy to say, it still doesn't make it right, but I'm happy to say that the individual confessed to knowing about the dog. He confessed to receiving the dog. We're not sure who took the collar off. I'm not sure. I'm sure they're still working on that, and we're not sure where the collar's at. We were told it got thrown in a creek, but here's my problem, right? And this is why I brought JD here, and this is why I really wanted to get him involved, because JD is huge into dog hunting, always been. These were rabbit dogs, but it really doesn't matter, because the facility, we had a problem with, they had bird dogs, right? They were retrieving dogs, and it's the same community fighting each other, and I just don't get it. And this is a community that loves dogs. They love hunting, and we keep finding ourselves in a situation where we're fighting each other, and I don't understand why. And so, I don't know all the laws. I know that you can't remove the collar. I know if you kill a dog, it's a felony. I don't really know what the intentions were with keeping the dog. I don't know what their intentions were for removing the collar. But it's got me super confused, super frustrated, and kind of at a point where I'd rather mend this problem versus create more, but we've got to do something. So I brought JD here. So JD, tell me, obviously we don't have enough time to tell me everything that you know about dog hunting, but so looking at that situation, what do you think?
Well, unfortunately, it's becoming more and more common. Just last year, you're talking about beagles. We had a guy contact us in Emporia, Virginia. They were doing an outside deer trial with beagles that they run, and he had one of his beagles get picked up from the side of the road, just out of the hunt, in an active hunt, where they were supposed to be. It was a sanctioned hunt, and about 2 days later, we located the beagle at the Durham County SPCA. So what we have uncovered as well is there's an underground network of people who their sole intent is to disrupt the dog hunting community by picking up dogs, removing the collar, and putting them on cars, getting them states away and putting them up for adoption. And it's becoming more and more common. And I just don't know where it's stemming from, other than just pure hatred for something that people just don't understand.
Right, and so I automatically assume, I don't dog hunt on the regular. I love to go dog hunt. I love to run deer with dogs. I love to run rabbit with dogs. But dog hunting's how I got started. And I do try to keep up on stuff enough to make sure that I'm somewhat educated on it. And I know that the number one thing that I hear from a lot of anti-dog people are, well, that dog's malnourished. And I'm like, well, hold on now. Have you ever seen anybody that runs marathons be obese?
That's right.
I mean, this dog runs, they drop the tailgate at sunrise, shortly thereafter, they run to almost sunset. I mean, if they're not running their noses to the ground, they're working. I mean, they're nonstop. Unlike some people, they ain't got phones to veg out on. I mean, they're working. And so what ends up happening, they do this every Saturday. They do this sometimes Saturday and Sunday. If their owner's blessed enough, 3-4 times a week. I mean, Absolutely.
it's,
during the hunting season and then during the off season, they're still going to do stuff. So,
right.
I mean, it's a big difference between malnourished and being in shape. And so that part of it, but I can understand if you don't know, you don't know. And so I can appreciate not knowing and making a bad judgment call, because we've all been there. I've made bad judgment calls by just not knowing. But I can appreciate when somebody is point blank lying. I can't appreciate when somebody's doing something maliciously. And I can't appreciate when people are in the same community fighting each other, right? So it's just, I mean, so removing the collar, what's that? What law are we breaking? What do we have there?
In the state of North Carolina, it is under North Carolina General Statute 14-401.17, unlawful removal or destruction of electronic dog collars. It is unlawful to intentionally remove or destroy an electronic collar or other electronic device placed on a dog by its owner to maintain control of the dog. B, a first conviction for this violation in this section is a Class 3 misdemeanor. So you got it right there. The first offense is a Class 3 misdemeanor. A second or subsequent conviction for the violation of this section is a Class 2 misdemeanor. This act is enforceable by officers of the Wildlife Resource Commission, by sheriffs and deputy sheriffs, and peace officers with general subject matter jurisdiction. So that there you have it right there. It is a Class 3 misdemeanor on your first conviction. Second or subsequent conviction is a Class 2 misdemeanor. I know a lot of people get it confused. Well, it's a felony. No, that's the North Carolina General Statute.
Right.
Where the felonies come in is if the collar is removed, then you can go and file it as stolen property.
Right.
That takes it to a whole nother level because of the value of the device itself.
And that is what the dog owner went and did. He went he went Monday. This happened Saturday. He went Monday and filed out, charges on the stolen property as well.
That's right.
So, I mean, to me, again, guys, look at this. I mean, you think $500, $300, and this boy was running 5 of these and 1 of these. You do the math. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That's $2,000 running around on the ground for somebody who don't care about their dogs. I ain't buying it.
And a lot of times back in the day, it's just like hunting evolves. When I started 35 years ago, there were no tracking collars. We just run. Times have changed. We moved to telemetry. Now these are GPS. These collars here, they actually run off of 2 satellite systems. They run off of the GPS system, and they run off the GLONASS, which is the Russian satellite. So it's pretty accurate, and I run mine updating every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds it refreshes, and I can keep up with 20 dogs at a time and know exactly where they are, and it timestamps every 2 seconds. It tells you their GPS coordinates, whether they're barking, how fast they're moving, if they're sitting still. I mean, it is as detailed as you can possibly get.
And that's one thing. I've been on hunts back in the day where we lost a dog. We put a coat down.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Absolutely.
and that's what the dog come back to, because that's his owner.
That's
the
right.
dog ain't gonna run from an owner they don't like, right?
Yep.
Or if it loves its owner, it ain't gonna go lay down on the coat. But daggone if it ain't true. I mean, I've dropped coats and then come back, dog be laying on the coat. But I love the fact that we're at this point.
But unfortunately, though, the reason these are coming into existence is for the incidents that you're speaking of.
Right, and that's the bad part.
It's for the protection of the dog because so much misinformation is out there.
That's right.
I've got 10 of these. That's $3,000.
Right.
I've got 2 of these.
Right.
I run a tablet in my truck. I run, and it's not for me. It's
Right.
it's to protect my dogs, which is an investment. It's a 365, 24/7 investment.
Well, and see, that's something else that I kind of thought about or whatever. So somebody sees a dog and whatever they think, I don't like dog hunting. That dog looks malnourished. I don't like this or I don't like that. Neighbors trespassing. I don't care. So you get into this stuff. What you don't realize is when you take a dog like this, how many good memories does that owner have with that dog, right? How many times did that gentleman fire up a truck and hear a dog howling, ready to go? How many times did a Saturday morning, right after a breakfast, with it cold as all get out, did one of those dogs run a rabbit, run a deer, or make a memory with a child? I started off as a child hunting. Now, how many memories are they bringing to us? And they're solely working. I mean, they're solely working. They're doing what they're taught to do. Yeah. They're doing what they were meant to do, and they're just working, man. And it's just, I mean, to some extent, again, 3 times a year, maybe 4 times a year, maybe I dog hunt, but I can appreciate it. And again, if we as a community don't start working together, we're going to end our own passions. If we can't respect each other, and I don't care whether it's running dogs, I don't care whether it's bow hunting, gun hunting, baiting with corn, bait with food plots, game land hunting, private land hunting, I don't care what it is. If you can't take 5 seconds, step back from your own ego and your own opinions and just support each other,
absolutely,
we're going to find ourselves in a really bad situation.
Yeah, I'm 100% houndsman. That's all I do. I don't own a tree stand. That's just what I do. But I'm here to tell you, if they try to regulate any other form of legal hunting, I'm going to be the first one to stand up against it. Because I understand that once one gets gone, the other ones...
One stroke of the paintbrush, and all of a sudden we've got an entire canvas covered. Yeah. So, no. And I agree that. And I would encourage others who maybe don't dog hunt or don't hunt. If you see another form of hunting being attacked, make sure you stand up for it because yours could be next.
Absolutely, it will be. They're just looking a way in.
So I mean, we've got too many people. We got too many people out there trying to take everything that we got from us. This is in today's society with everybody getting glued to TVs, glued to phones. Welcome to YouTube. But nevertheless, with everybody getting glued to all this stuff, let's get outdoors. Yep. I mean, let's unglue and let's have some fun. And the best way to do it is to do it together in a community that I've met a lot of you, and you are all good people. And there's a lot of good in each and every one of you. Let's figure out a way to mend it together. So, with that being said, I hope this is helpful. I hope that for the dog owner that the problem is resolved. But I'm not sure. The fight's over. So, make sure that you take 5 seconds. Think about your neighbor. Think about your fellow outdoorsman. And don't forget, here for too long, we're going to be doing a vote. So pay attention who supports who and who's looking out for you. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good one. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's all about the release.